With YouTube attacking alternative media, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon for just $1 per month. Link below. Apparently, Warner Brothers knew Justice League was going to bomb, right? At least that's what this new article is speculating. That's been a lot of conversation about that for a while. Leading off of what happened with Batman v Superman after its first weekend, I mean, there was just a torrent of crap that went down on Warner Brothers, especially Zack Snyder, following the release of Batman v Superman. And, you know, I always felt that Snyder took it on the chin and Warner's was going to be loyal to him. And they were, by letting him continue working on Justice League, even with the limitations that they kind of put on his position at the time. And now that we know after the fact that it was ultimately Warner Brothers and the notes that they gave, and also some of their demands and edicts that really hurt Batman v Superman. And by not having the extended cut in theaters, I think really hurt them in terms of popularity and fans wanting to come back for more. So it says that the unofficially titled DCEU was set up with Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman in 2016 with the goal of getting superheroes packed Justice League or into theaters. DC Films expanded with Suicide Squad, and coupled with the bad reviews for both that movie and Batman v Superman, the DC cinematic universe was off to a rocky start. I love that they're trying to like argue that whatever, like, oh, you have the DCEU and then the DCCU. No, it's the DCEU. No one calls it the DC cinematic universe. That they were trying to do that before Justice League as a way to differentiate it from the past films, to kind of rebrand it. So when people say, well, the DCEU sucks. Wait, what's the DCEU? I know the DCCU, right? All it was trying to do some brand confusion nonsense. But all that changed when Wonder Woman hit theaters last summer, exceeding expectations and becoming a critical and box office success, leading to some to hope for Justice League. However, new reports suggest that Warner Brothers knew for quite some time that Justice League was in trouble and would ultimately bomb no matter which version hit theaters. And obviously they're talking about Zack Snyder. The new report states that Warner Brothers was aware that Justice League was going to fail no matter who was in the director's chair. Not even Zack Snyder's mythical cut of the film could have saved what was about to get put out for human consumption. The new report alleges that lack of faith in the material resulted in bad CGI and a truncated theatrical cut because Warner Brothers just wanted to get it out of the way so they could instead focus on the next project, which does make sense if you think about the fact that the guy who runs Warner Brothers now ordered a 2-hour cut of the film, right? Whereas Batman v Superman Extended was 3 hours. They wanted a 2-hour cut of Justice League in order to get that extra screening in per day, to hope to eke out as much money as they could by just having a by-the-numbers superhero film that I feel really got let down by not having that Zack Snyder cut. I'm sorry, I'm not going to let that go. The decision was apparently made well before Justice League hit theaters, and that DC Films and Warner Brothers wanted to move away from the interconnected universe. But they decided to move forward with the movie anyway. This starts to make sense because the DC slate remains the same despite a huge behind-the-scenes changes at Warner Brothers, which leads one to believe that the studio will work on what has been previously announced in a manner that will focus on standalone movies. However, the report states that not even the studio knew that Justice League was going to tank as bad as it did. $650 million is what it was estimated to bring home entirely, and I have a feeling the movie will do very, very, very well on home video. Batman v Superman was #1 on home video sales, combined Blu-ray and DVD, for 5 weeks, followed by, I think, 4 of those weeks with The Killing Joke being the second #1 seller on home video. So even though home video may not be as big as it once was, it's not necessarily something to scoff at. I think the estimated numbers for how much the movie brought home, Batman v Superman brought home for home video, at least just the home video sales, not VOD or anything, was around 200 million. So there's money to be made on the back end there. Justice League probably won't do as well, but yeah, they've been really screwing with it. This trying to pull away from the interconnected movies, I think, is a bad idea. But a lot of that's rumor and speculation based upon the response to the Joker and Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad. That was kind of one of the key things there, because of Jared Leto and whether or not he's coming back as the Joker. And then Martin Scorsese wants to do a Joker prequel movie or something. It's all over the place. And with Batman, with Ben Affleck kind of coming and going, depending on whether or not he's coming and going out of rehab, makes it a big problem. Anyways, Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman 2 are currently the only movies on the roster that have official release dates. But it's looking like Flashpoint movie will take some big steps in tearing down what Batman v Superman and Justice League tried to build. The new movies will not go any further in trying to keep the interconnected universes together. Instead, this future will be standalone movies, which has been reported for months now. All of the new movies that are in development will get their own respective teams to produce them and look over the quality control. See, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Warner's at this point is too invested in interconnectivity in order for it to go away in the way that they want. Shazam, you're already hearing that Henry Cavill is going to show up as Superman. Suicide Squad 2, the team is currently getting ready, like the actors are currently working out together to get ready to shoot that thing. It's going to take a little bit more time, but the quality of it is priority number one. You're hearing Black Adam, The Rock is going to be a big part of that. That's one of the rumors. Aquaman's already filmed, clearly going to be dealing with the events that came off of Justice League. Wonder Woman 2 is supposedly a time travel movie set in the 1980s as a way to kind of still not be something that follows after Justice League, but probably something that leads into it. Flash is no longer going to be Flashpoint. I'm calling that right now. The Flash movie is probably just going to be The Flash. With the new writers that they brought on board to completely, kind of redo the script, they're not going to want to go back and do Flashpoint. Even though some people have speculated that they want to go back and retell some of these stories through Flashpoint is not, I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think you can sit there and have the Flash's first theatrical ride be Flashpoint. I feel like it would have to be like the second or third movie in a Flash franchise in order to get to that point. Warner's, unfortunately, really, really, really wants to be Marvel, but they're not giving themselves the time to get there. And that's the biggest problem. My theory going forward, my recommendation going forward would ultimately be to look at where you are, look at what you have, and build off of that foundation. It might be a little rocky, but as long as the foundation is there, you can rebuild. By going back and trying to eliminate things or retcon things or fix them through time travel, even going as far as recasting, Batman as somebody else, not just in Flashpoint, but then, just beyond, makes it very hard for people to have faith. The biggest reason why Marvel is beating over DC is because I believe people have faith in the product. The movies are good. They're at least, at the worst, they're serviceable. At the best, they're like Captain America, Winter Soldier, which is just a solid political thriller. That was awesome. Civil War was also great. So I think if DC got their act together and actually plotted everything out, they would have a chance at the success that they are looking for. But every time we see stuff like this, it shows you that they don't know what they're doing over there. And that sucks because I will admit, I've become emotionally invested into the characters in this franchise. And I want to see them come back time and time again and tell some cool stories. But the further we get away from Man of Steel, which was 5 years ago this summer, the closer we get to them just, giving up and starting over again. Which ultimately is only going to just further kill the brand. Marvel is so far ahead of DC at this point, DC shouldn't even try to catch up to them, but they should still try to make good movies, and they're really all over the damn place.